Highly ho, and welcome back to Hadrian's Forge. And today we have a wonderful learning and educational opportunity that is massively fun. And it will be called the Honey Dipper Mace, or Honey Dipper Finial. Either way, we will be starting off with a 3/4 inch bar at 28 inches long, and we'll go from there. It's going to require a tapering, and some isolating, and some mending. Anyway, let's go ahead and move over to the anvil and get this project started. Oh, and don't forget, you have an opinion. Tell me what I'm doing wrong in the comments, and while you're down there, hit the like button. See you soon. Okay, here we are, and this is the piece that we're going to use to start. So basically, this first step is just basically tapering out that way, tapering down in. We'll isolate here, and then taper this, so that this becomes a total of 16 inches. And I'm doing something for the first time. I don't know if you can see it. You can't. Hold on. There you go. And that is, I'm trying the soapstone smoking thing, obviously. this one's going to be different. This is going to get half a class. Anyway, I've got the first taper squared out, and this is where I'm going to take and well, my mark's gone. I'll redo it. And now I'm just going to round it to finish out because it's an inch, like 3/4 of an inch more. And I think that in rounding it, I'll get that 3/4 of an inch. So when I get it rounded, I'll let you see. Hold on. All right, now that the song's changed and I've stopped singing, I got my taper here. And obviously, it's 8 inches to my mark. It looks pretty damn round to me. So we're going to move on to isolate here and make this a small end of a taper and not the big end of the taper at 8 inches. So let's go. Let me go ahead and get that done, and I'll show you what it looks like. I just took a break, but as you can see, I'm halfway through. I need to come down a little bit more, punch a little bit more through, probably about, so that I have a quarter of the thickness left. And so I'm just quickly going through these parts because I want to focus on the latter parts. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done and show you the next step. Well, okay, we had an issue, all entirely my fault, of course. Actually, that doesn't look like a bad view. Here, this area was where it got tapered to. This end. And I did a standard isolation in this direction. And then I did switch to this one. And as you, from the pattern, oops. This area here was the first, then coming in here on the second, and then trying to come on, I'm doing on the back side, is what ended up causing all of my coal shuts. Which, basically, as you can see, this area is one just solid coal shut that it just snapped. So what we'll be doing here in a minute is I'll be using a piece of half-inch and demonstrating how it should have been done the first time. And the step that I missed, stop, think, speak. And the step that I missed that led to this failure. A pretty significant one. I mean, it's supposed to be one piece. Like this. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll do something. It'll end up in the bucket. At least this chunk will end up in the bucket. This one I'm gonna probably cut the end off at the tape them. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that. Anyway, so let me go ahead and switch over and get everything set up, and I'll walk through exactly what happened, or at least how to do it so it doesn't happen. Anyway, give me a minute. Be right back. Now, it's okay to get it started down here. We're going to do about a 2.5 inches on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a cleanup heat real quick. Now I have an idea for what this is going to end up being, so I'm not wasting this. This is going to end up being another project. Now that I've got it cleaned back up again, I'm going to go ahead and work my notch in. But I'm going to move it down to one of the rounded area. So right here. I don't know if you can see it But if you can't, see how when it was down, it was a high tight corner. Now it has a nice rounded edge in it. That's what you want to avoid the cold shuts, is that nice rounding. But pick one spot, wherever it is, use that same radius. Okay. Now in the last one, and I'm going to do it on this one, I came in from the side to do a 45-degree angle because I was trying to beat the 3/4 inch. Go to my start spot, line it up. Okay, nice. Now I see exactly what happened on the last one. So I will be reenacting it. Right here, as I came in my corner, it has it bows out. Well, it bowed out on the inside. I'm not exactly sure at this point. Uh, and there it is. It's because I was hitting it multiple. And definitely I can see 4 or 5 just on that one. And I did like 6 or 7 times on the other one. So yeah, I would have definitely driven core shuts through. So let me go ahead and do a little cleanup and think on how we're going to fix it. How, in this particular, when it gets this bad, it should never get this bad. So let's do one more heat and clean it up, and I'll think on it in a minute. I'll take care of a good chunk of it. What I'm going to do is work on drawing it out, because it's going to be anyway, and see if I can't figure out how I'm going to manage that little flip over right there in the middle. Always inspect, at various points when you're doing this, anything where you're making corners inside. Oh, like for example, here, obviously I'm going to do it, I'll pull off camera, but there's a cold shut now, just I'll end up getting it hot and doing the hot last on it and get rid of it. So I think that this rotating it out of it didn't remove the cold shut, because I can still see it there, but it has not right there. But it has not created any new ones, or massively expanded the old one. So I think that's how that's supposed to be done. Let me go ahead and practice on that and watch it, and we will watch it and see what happens. I think that's how how I am going to end up doing that in the future. Yep, that's that. Anyway, boy, this is going to be an interesting wrap-up. So let's go ahead and do this now, and we'll get to the wrap-up here in just a second. See you then. Well, wasn't that just an interesting series of events? Remember, cold shuts are evil. Absolutely will destroy projects. Um, it's kind of like death. It has no discrimination. You let it creep up, it'll just keep getting worse and worse until it bites you in the backside. So I hope when we do it next time, or when I go to do it next time, uh, I won't have the same disastrous results. Um, in the meantime, go ahead and hit that subscribe and like notify button so you get those reminders. And we'll see you next time. Have a good day, and remember, you're wonderful people.